Hello, gentlemen. How are we all doing? We have 5 abnormals to chase after today. And first question, I know you're going to ask, Americans, your clocks have changed. But what I'm led to believe is the format is the abnormal times will only change when the UK changes time. So daylight saving is about to appear, or rather it already has in America, but we've still got another 11 days until it happens in the UK. And I've seen it all in the past. The abnormals times only change when the UK changes times. So we've got another 10, 11 days until that happens. So I still expect the abnormals to appear when it hits midnight here. That is my expectation. So nothing's going to appear early, nothing's going to appear later, nothing's changing until 2 weeks' time. So not next week, but the week after. You get the idea. Ow, I just hurt my finger. Right, so as I have mentioned, we've got 5 abnormals to chase after. That is the hard suit hoodie and pants, the toxic wolf door, the frog furnace, and of course the good boy SMG. So let's go over to here real quickly, because I just want to show to you, gentlemen, if you don't know what an abnormal skin is, I have a video right here, nicely available to all of you. It's called Rust Economy 101, Abnormals and Rust Rotation. In 20 minutes, you'll understand the whole routine in regards to how all of this works in regards to abnormal skins. But if you want a very, very quick explanation, I do have a short right here. It says, what are abnormal Rust skins? Rust investing shorts. It's literally a 60-second video, which should kind of get mostly everything across to you. So, very nice. Okay, so let's begin talking about prices. Let's figure out what's looking to be a good price to offer for all of these new abnormal skins that will be appearing in just less than 3 hours' time. So, starting off, we have the hard suit hoodie and pants. Gentlemen, this has not sold that much. It sold about 15,000. By the end of tomorrow, when we have the next Rust rotation, I wouldn't be surprised over time. It probably looks like we have about 16,000 skins of each of these in circulation. Around that, maybe 15 to 16,000. So, obviously, in the past few weeks, we've had ridiculous skins that got a lot of attention with a ridiculous amount of sales, and well, yep. But it all stopped here. This was a calm week. It was a quiet week, and these haven't sold that much. But that could be a positive. Now, this is the beginning of a new collection, the Hardsuit collection, and if you've seen my Rust skin checks which appeared today, you would know that Mr. Shedmon has produced more clothing for it, Hardsuit boots, Hardsuit gloves. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, okay, but what about other skins like Tier 3 and Tier 2 armor? Well, people were asking, Shedmon, hey, are you planning to make armor too? Yep. And we spoke to him earlier. He's making Tier 3 armor. So we are expecting that to happen. We are expecting more core pieces to appear. So, with knowledge of that, we have to take that into consideration. There's no guarantee that that Tier 3 armor will be accepted. However, we can still roll with the expectation. Like, it's worth the risk, I guess you could say. You know, investments sometimes like that. This could happen. All right, I'll buy a bunch of these with the hope that we will see the result that we want and we'll make some good profit out of it. So, with that, with these two here, we also want to take into consideration another thing that happened in the previous week. These did not sell that much. But one thing that we did see kind of happen last week, not in regards to like these hoodie and pants, but I just want to bring up how Elite Crate, the Tier 3 armor only sold like 16,000 each. And then when these appeared, they shot up in price. But these ended up selling a ridiculous amount. Which means, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future we do get Elite Crate Tier 2, these are most likely going to have the lowest sales out of all of the skins out of the core pieces, therefore making these the most valuable. So, I reckon that we might see a position like this happening to the hard suit hoods and pants. They did not sell a ridiculous amount. It's very calm. It's only about 15,000 sales at the moment. But if we did see the likes of hard suit Tier 3, kind of wouldn't be surprised if we see more of them being bought in comparison to the 15,000 sales here. People would realise, oh damn, this is actually looking like it's going to become something quite valuable. And yes, gentlemen, always, by default, if there is another core piece being accepted, the pre-existing core pieces will spike in demand and spike up in price. I saw this happen to Low Poly Collection. I wasn't the biggest fan of that, and I know a lot of other people weren't the biggest fan, but even that collection still managed to spike up in demand and price when new core pieces appeared. So this right here, it's very shiny. A lot of people do like it. It's a fun idea. Will this progress quite nicely? Well, if we do see more core pieces being accepted, 100%. So, with these sales, it doesn't look like a ton of people bought them in excess, like a ridiculous amount in excess. So that's good. So, this is most likely going to end up becoming a very nice investment. It's not going to flood the market, the Steam market. It's not going to flood the third-party sites. This is looking to be in a very good position. So, my decision on what I want to offer, I've got 2 accounts. I'm going to offer $1 and I'm going to offer $1.50. Maybe I'll go a little bit more aggressive. You know, you could go push up to maybe $1.60. If you feel 100% certain that Hardsuit Tier 3 will be accepted in the future, then, you know, offer a little bit more. But here's the thing. If you're looking at those 2 skins right now and you're like, I actually do want to buy them. I really do want to buy them. I will sit here and say you could always just go for the highest buy order. Why not just offer $1.80? You'll get them for 19 cents cheaper each. I wouldn't be surprised if during that time period where we wait until we actually see if the Tier 3 gets accepted, that the prices might go down a little bit. And that did happen to the likes of Pizza Tier 3. Yeah, Pizza Tier 3 was a bit wacky, but once we saw that Hoodie and Pants was submitted just 2 days ago, these started getting bought out ridiculously. But just before that happened, these were going below their restore price. This happens quite a lot. This does happen quite a lot. So I'm going to sit here and say $1 to $1.50 seems to be a perfectly fine safe spot. $1 being extra safe, $1.50 being a bit more aggressive, but I have 2 accounts. I'm more than happy to do that. So that is my answer. I am planning to do $1 to $1.50 because I feel like there's a lot of potential positives in the future for these 2 skins. And then there's another thing that I want to bring up to you. This isn't really competing with anything else at the moment. You might not be aware, but with this current week, we have this newest top picks list made by TGG, and of course, recently we have seen loads of typical picks. So basically, all the skins from this recent list are most likely going to be what makes up for the new rotation tomorrow. Well, out of all of the clothing skins, the only 2 that really look like they've got a decent chance of being accepted, per my opinion, is the Comics Tier 2 and the Frog Cosplay Tier 2. After these, this guy's already, Legacy's already produced a Tier 3. He has to wait a few weeks until he makes another version of it. And I believe the same thing with Milio Frito. Regardless, Milio Frito is very busy with Tempered Collection and whatnot. Basically, the point I'm trying to say is I don't think this has any competition in regards to trying to get new skins out, if you get what I mean. So this right here, I think, has got a very decent chance of seeing more core pieces being accepted. But let's not forget, we have seen over the past few months, we've seen weeks where we didn't even get any clothing skins, any armor skins. So, yeah, let's just see how it all plays out. But yeah, $1 to $1.50 seems to be what I want to say for this. So, cool, that's my answer. Let's now move on to Frog Furnace. Chat, is it a grumpy frog or is it a pog frog? That is the question. So yeah, we looked at him in game, very nice, but I just don't see it holding up its value. Guys, I've made this point many times these past few weeks because we have had a few furnace skins accepted in 2023 is what I'm trying to say. All of them are already in the negative, right? Last year I would look at all of these 2022 furnace skins, and pretty much every single one of them was in the negative. And it's literally turning into that again. So what I'm saying is, as furnace skins, when times aren't very, very, very good, they tend to go below their restore price very frequently. Yes, the frog furnace skin, very funny, very silly. Would it always be funny? Would it always be silly? That's the main thing. I don't think it's going to hold up its price. I don't think it's going to hold up interest. I don't think it's going to hold out very well. So that means I don't think it's going to hold the price there. I think I want to play it a bit safer. At the very least, I should look at all of the furnaces and I should see what are the cheapest ones. So let's just go to that. What is the cheapest furnace that we see? How low do they go? They go all the way down to, 97 cents. But that is holiday themed. That's holiday themed, that's holiday themed, that's holiday themed, that's holiday themed. These are, so that's Easter, Lunar New Year, Christmas, that's just low because it's low. So, yeah. By default, there is quite a lot of them at around $1.20, $1.30. Guys, honestly, I think maybe $1 to $1.30 might be the best bet. $1 to $1.30. You could push it up a little bit more. You could push it up to maybe $1.60, maybe around that. What I'm saying is when times are good, I think a lot of people will be buying these again. It is a silly, jokey type of furnace, but you've got to accept that furnaces just don't hold their value during the year. It's awkward, it's unfortunate, but that is the way it is. So yeah, maybe a YouTuber looks at it and makes a joke about it. That could happen, but I just wouldn't rely on that. So yeah, this is something where I look at this and say, you could do $1 to $1.30. If you want to push it a bit more, push up to about $1.50. But yeah, I wouldn't really do that. I don't have a lot of faith in the frog, unfortunately. But yeah, I just know how people tend to behave. Toxic Wolf Door did not sell as much as I was expecting. Now, I'm very surprised by this. Now, last year we saw tons of sheet metal door skins being accepted, which I will show you right now. Let me just get to here. Come on. Yep, all right. Last year we saw 25 being accepted. So far this year we've had 4. We've had 10 rust door rotations so far this year. We've had 4 sheet metal door skins. I think it's safe to say we're not going to be seeing a ton of sheet metal door skins this year in comparison to the previous year. Maybe around 15 to 20, maybe. But I think we would expect less. Still quite a lot, mind you. But yeah, as of now, this is probably the best glow-in-the-dark door that we have out of the bunch. But we've seen a very similar skin that came out last year for a very similar price that didn't do too great. And that is Toxic Dragon Metal Door. This sold for $3.49, so it cost a bit more, but even then it's still gone down in price. 30,000 sales. Yeah, it had a whole lot more sales. We should take that into consideration. So it sold at a higher price, had a whole lot more, and then it went down. During the good times, this was in the positive. Now we look at this one. It's got a cool design. It didn't sell that much. Sold at a cheaper price. Guys, honestly, I feel like this will flourish in the good times, but I'm hesitant. I'm 50-50. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I want to go all the way up to about, I think I want to do $1.20 to $1.70 on this one. I do think it will go below its rust door price. I just don't know if it's going to hold up nicely forever, but it's a cool looking door. Hasn't sold that much. We are expecting, like, Toxic Wolf has been pretty successful recently. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we see some more Toxic Wolf skins being produced and accepted in the future. Hey, maybe Mr. Zinc will go ahead and make some more attempts to try and get Toxic Wolf armor being accepted and clothing. You get the idea. So if that happened, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if this door does go up in price. So as of now, $1.20 to $1.70. I want to go a bit aggressive on this because I think there's a lot of potential good things that could happen with this. So yeah, it's got a solid foundation for a lot of skins being accepted. I look forward to that. I think it's going to do all right. We're not going to expect so many sheet metal door skins this year, but I do still think it will go below its rust door price at some point this year. We're going to expect bad times around May and June time again, much like what we saw last year. Now we're on to the Good Boy SMG. Well, SMGs just aren't used that much. Go take a look at all of the most recent custom SMG skins that have come out, and you can see a very obvious pattern. Down, 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 down. Even the Blackout SMG is down by 23%. So, do you honestly think this is going to hold up very nicely? Yep, it is the Pug Fart Rocket, tee-hee. But you might sit there and say, oh, but didn't the Good Boy collection do it? No, AK's down 46%. No, the joke didn't last. The joke for this won't last. Will we see some more Good Boy skins being made in the future? Wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Will they be successful because they have a silly pug dog on them? Well, it hasn't worked for the AK, and I doubt it's going to work for this. But it's mainly because of the items themselves. We have far too many AKs. In fact, we've had 5 AKs accepted over the past 5 weeks, so we're oversaturated with options. They bottleneck each other. They don't really tend to be very good investments. With the custom SMG, it's got low gun demand. Low gun demand in terms of, do people even want to chase after and use this in-game? Not so much. Therefore, there's not so much demand for the actual skins themselves. Therefore, prices aren't going to hold up. They tend to go down. So, by default, I think, well, you know what? What's the cheapest one? Because I was about to sit there and say 70 cents to 90 cents. But if we go by cheapest, how cheap do you go? So you go down to around $1. Right, so that's a lot of them around $1. And then it starts to pick up a bit. So by default, guys, because this had a higher price, it didn't sell that much. I still think it would hold up a decent price. My answer is I'd probably do 80 cents to $1.20. 80 cents to $1.20 would be my answer for this. I don't expect to see tons of custom SMG skins this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more good boy skins being made than accepted this year. But overall, just doesn't have that high of gun demand. But the price is, yeah, so 80 cents would be the safe one. You can push it. You could go up to about $1.20. But don't be surprised in the slightest if you end up buying quite a lot of them when you do a $1.20 buy order. But that might be all right for you. You might think, well, if I buy them for $1.20, surely it'll go up again when times are good. Yeah, that will happen. It will happen. But it's a long wait. So yeah, I think we've gone through all of the skins, haven't we? Yes, we have. So, you know what? Whilst we're here, we can also do skins for tomorrow. I did that last week by accident, but I'll do it now. You know, make it all nice and clear. So, for the skins tomorrow, we have the Dragon Rage crossbow. So this is only going to appear marketable when the next Rust Door rotation appears. Crossbows tend to do quite all right. Crossbows tend to hold their value okay enough, but the ones that tend to do a whole lot better in comparison to the other ones are the ones that are part of a collection. So this has not held up well. This has not held up well. That's getting pumped. That's getting pumped. That's actually in demand. What am I looking at here? There's not a very good batch to really compare with, so I'm just going to go with the point I'm trying to make. Dragon Rage crossbow. Only 13,000 sales. Not a ridiculous amount. It is more than the previous two here. But the point I really want to get across is, I wouldn't be surprised if this does go below its Rust Door price at some point in the future. But I also won't be surprised in the slightest if around post-Christmas time, 2024, this ends up at around $3, maybe $4. Dragon Rage is getting more skins accepted this year. This is the beginning. We saw a Thompson being submitted this week. I really look forward to that. But you can see right there. I think it's going to be all right. You know what? The bow. The bow's probably a very good thing to bring up. The bow was the skin that appeared last year, and the exact same thing that I'm trying to get across is, because this has a full collection already accepted in terms of clothing and armor, this actually had a lot of support to keep up the value, and, well, what happened when good times hit? It went up. So for a long time, this was selling for around $1.50 or $1.60. Then post-Christmas hits, and it hits a peak of around $3. Very nice. But then when post-Christmas disappears, it starts to go down. I think the exact same thing will happen with the likes of the crossbow. This will probably bounce up to $3 when we hit post-Christmas in about 9 months' time. But yeah, it will probably sink as low as, well, do you know what? We need to go find out what is the cheapest crossbow at the moment, get a good idea of how low they can go. It won't go as low as the lowest because, again, this has support in the fact that, based on the fact that it's got a full collection. So the cheapest one is $1.20. All right, so chat, I think maybe the best thing to do with this crossbow is $1 to $1.40. $1.40, yeah, $1 to $1.40. I can't even remember what it is. I've lost it. Yeah, I think it will be holding up its price. I think it will probably go as low as about $1.50. But yep, when times are good, wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if this goes up to about $3, maybe even more. With the amount of sales it had, everything seems comfortable, nothing ridiculous, no tons of excess sales. It looks like it's perfectly fine. But I do expect it to go below its Rust Door price, maybe around $1.50 to $1.60, maybe even $1.70. But yeah, it won't go low, but it will go lower. Okay. Let's now take a look at the copper AR. So with the arrival of this, it actually did cause the copper collection to get a few buyouts. A lot of people did buy out a lot of this of the clothing and armor when this appeared, because I think a lot of people realised, oh wow, we're going to get a whole lot more copper skins being accepted soon. And well, they've been submitted. Copper L96 this week, do you reckon? Do you reckon it'll be accepted this week? And then, of course, this actual week, we saw the submission of the boots and the gloves. So, yeah, this is an AK, however. This is the 5th AK to be accepted over the past 5 weeks. So, by default, based on the actual item itself, the AKs... we've got too many AKs. There's far too many AKs. Yeah, so... if we go by newest, you can see, based on the fact that in the previous week we had this one, the previous week this one, the previous week we had that one, and then that one. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had 10 Rust Door rotations so far this year. We've had 8 AK-47 skins. This might look really sleek and cool, and it has a collection to insert itself straight into. However, by default, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another AK accepted this week, tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe 30 AKs being accepted this year. That's a potential problem. That's something for us to worry about. So, point I'm trying to get across is I still think this is going to struggle, even if we do see the boots and the gloves and the L96 being accepted. Wouldn't be surprised if this struggles. However, when we hit post-Christmas time, if loads of people if we do get a lot more copper stuff being accepted and people do really enjoy using it, I think it might actually get a nice little renaissance and, get a nice boost. But I don't view it as being a good investment over the course of the next few months. That's what I want to get across. Didn't sell that much. Understandable. We've had so many AKs accepted recently. But I think it might rebound and do quite well in the future. Something to keep an eye out for. So, yeah. People do like it with their copper stuff. So, we'll move on to the construction site bow now. So this hasn't sold a lot, but we do have continuations. So I did see Mr. Dark Schneider has made a crossbow with this as well. We saw that in the Saturday skin showcase with Mr. Micro. It's got the transparency gimmick spreading along. Will we see another construction site skin being made? We shall see. But yeah, this does look like it's getting some more support based on more skins being produced for this collection. But in terms of hunting bows, do they tend to hold up well, the skins? Do they tend to hold up their value? Well, no. No. I had this, I think I was looking at these skins last year, and I was querying, I think people have already picked out the bow skin that they want, and they're not going to be enticed by anything new. So like even the Bonana, very fun, jokey skin, still went down in price. What I'm saying is, people probably already have their rainbow pony bow, or their jade bow, or their tempered bow, or the blackout bow. You get the idea. Like, we might see tons of bow skins being produced and accepted, but people just won't really budge. So, unfortunately, I just don't really see this holding up its value. I think this is going to be a case of it might be a 70 cents to 90 cents buy order situation. However, what's the cheapest one right now? Cheapest one right now is scroll up. Cheapest one right now is $1.12, $1.19, $1.19, $1.20, $1.20, $1.20. Okay, so we got a ton of them at around $1.30. So maybe you could push it up. Maybe you could offer around $1.10. Maybe that couldn't hurt. Would it do better? Would it do better off in the future? Probably, but yeah. Would the transparency gimmick get across and people like it a lot? Could do well. It only takes one person on TikTok to sit there and say, oh, well, look, it's transparent. This is good. Everyone should buy it. And then everybody starts buying it. We've seen that happen a lot, haven't we? But, yeah. I think, by default, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down in price. I mean, it's probably going to drop down to about $1.50 initially, and when times get worse, it'll probably drop down to about $1.30, maybe less, so be prepared for that. Then we got the Chemical Burn Python. This has not sold that much, and this is something that I did bring up multiple times over the past week, because what we tend to see, this is a pattern that I've noticed, the lowest performing, or rather, the lowest selling skin of the week tends to get manipulated. Yes, people know that there's hardly any quantity in circulation, so after a day or two they buy all the stock on the Steam market and they start boosting it up immediately. And that's what happened very, very, very recently to the likes of the Wasteland Sap. Yes, it immediately got boosted. I brought this up when we saw the rotation just last week. I looked at the Chemical Python. I could instantly know something like this would happen. So yeah, you can see how this after 2 days just gets boosted all the way up to about $11, $12, and then it goes back down again. Still boosted, mind you. Still at a much higher price than what this probably should be, or rather, yeah, like you can see where the actual genuine demand is, where it ends here, and then you see these boosted buy orders here. This is all part of a pump. So yeah. That had 5,000 sales. The Chemical Python, how many does this have? 3,800, 3,900. We have seen other Python skins being pumped before. So if I just quickly show you this. If we go look at the newer skins, do you remember the military Python was pumped? Well, now it isn't. the pump's over with. But we'll just take a look real quickly. At the moment, this is selling for $1.55. There's not many of them. That's part of the reason why it was so easy to manipulate. But if we just scroll down, do you remember when it was selling for prices such as $20 each? Yes, you can see the exact thing potentially happening with another low-selling skin in the future. This did not sell that much. People realized it was vulnerable to attack. They bought out all the stock. They pumped up the value. They tricked third-party and gambling websites. They dumped all of their stock onto those gambling websites / third-party sites. And once they're done, they immediately stop supporting it, and suddenly the price goes down, and crashes. So yeah, that wasn't legitimate, actual, genuine demand. It was a pump. And this has been going on so many times over these past few weeks. There's always an absolutely trouble hatchet. Trouble hatchet. There you go. Do you reckon this is actually in demand? Let's see. Has it been pumped? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Abs worth nothing. Nobody cares. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah. And Desert Raiders got boosted because a guy made a TikTok about it. So anyway, back over to here. Yeah. That chemical burn python, it's not the most visually appealing looking skin, is it? But because it's had such low quantity sales, it very likely could end up becoming something quite special. Maybe it's worth buying one of them and just seeing what happens. It's worth a shot, isn't it? We shall see. So, gentlemen, that is all of the skins. You might sit there and say, oh, I forgot to say, what price might you want to offer for this? By default, I'd sit there and say it's 70 cents to 90 cents. I don't think people actually want it. However, the boosters and the pumpers might, but we don't know if it's going to happen. Maybe they don't want to do it now because I brought up the whole situation. That very likely could be a thing. As Mr. Metatron said, first rule of Manipulation Club, don't talk about Manipulation Club. Well, buddy, I just talked about it. So, yeah, don't be tricked, don't be fooled. Don't buy manipulated skins. They aren't actually those prices. Don't be fooled, don't be tricked. Be cautious. Remember, when you see a skin that's randomly been boosted in price, always take a look at its price comparison left to right. And then to be doubly sure, if you've got an extension, look at the buy orders. You can see how genuine buy orders end at 93 cents. But to be extra sure, we scroll down, we look at the sales history, show me lifetime, and then you can see how this had absolutely no interest throughout all of its lifetime, but very randomly spikes in demand here because someone bought out the stock, and they're very likely going to pump it. Okay, cool. So, that's everything. We talked about all of the skins, we talked about all of the skin prices, and now we're going to skip ahead and go to the abnormal buy orders. So, with a click of my fingers, we shall do that. Right, chat. Hello. What I have been talking to you about is you really do need to take into consideration what other people are likely going to be doing. We have 5 skins, but overall, in terms of super important or not, they're all reasonably equal with each other. So what I'm saying is, if quite a lot of us are slightly a little bit more interested in Hardsuit, maybe focus the Frog or the Toxic Wolf Door, for example. Go for what everybody else likely isn't going for. And here we go. What do we see? La-da-da-da-da. Come on. There we go. Someone straight away with a super buy order. Toxic Wolf Door. Hey, Mr. Frog. And good boy SMG. Hello. And then we'll, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead and then we'll talk about buy order support afterwards. So, alright, gentlemen, so it's been like 9 minutes since the abnormals appeared, and now we can see that the Hardsuit pants, all of the buy orders going all the way up to $1.60. So, yeah, not too surprised by that. It's got a lot of support, this one. As we look over to here, it's got that random 600 buy order right there. So, looks like that guy who kept doing very random buy orders is back. So, maybe we could cut off 600. Maybe we could cut off 200 as well. But yeah, overall, over 1,800 buy orders, loads of support, loads of buy orders going well above $1, and it's going all the way very strongly into around $1.50 and slightly above. This is a $2 pair of pants, and as we have said, Mr. Shedmon has verified himself that he plans to make tier 3 armor. It's going to be appearing after the rust or rotation tomorrow, so he is actually going to be making tier 3 armor. It's happening. We will be expecting that. So on the horizon, our expectation was, will Hardsuit get more? Yes, it is. So good. That's another positive. So if you feel like that's all lining up to be the perfect thing with all of the support it's got here, and mind you, we'll also take a look at the hoodie as well. Hoodie's pretty much the exact same, except it doesn't have that $1.60 buy order. Chat, YouTube, honestly, it's looking like it's probably a perfectly fine thing to buy. It's a bit of a risk, but there is a great reward. When another core piece appears, the already existing core pieces skyrocket. Very good money. And we recently did see that with the likes of Elite Crate, the Elite Crate Tier 3, that chest plate and face mask shot up to $5 plus. They have started to go down a little bit, but hey, there's Tier 2 still on the horizon. So yep, that is working out very nicely. And the same thing could happen with the likes of the hoodie and the pants. So strong buy orders, all here, loads of support, looking like a thing that is perfectly fine thing to buy tomorrow. So for the next, let's say, for the next 18 hours, take a look at it, keep an eye on it, and then make a decision. Should I buy these? Think about it on the Thursday, tomorrow. Well, technically it's now for me, but you get the idea. So on Thursday, keep an eye on it and make a decision, because from what we can see here and all the positivity, maybe it's worth that chance. Maybe it's worth it. So we shall take a look and see. All right, so Hardsuit, hoodie and pants, loads of support. Very nice to see. Let's now move on to Toxic Wolf Door. So this is a $2.49 skin, and I believe I'm the highest buy order. So yeah, I said $1.20 to $1.70, and nobody went up to or higher than that. So hey, looks like I'll be buying a bunch of them maybe. Am I fine with that? I think I will be. I think it'll turn out all right. But yeah, basically, I still think we will be seeing a lot more Toxic Wolf skins potentially being accepted this year. And as I said, we're still waiting for those clothing pieces, those armor pieces, and many more doors. So yeah, it's not got as much support compared to the other two skins that we just saw. But you know, we don't know what to expect. And there's no guarantee that any new Toxic Wolf skins will guarantee that this jumps up in demand and price. So didn't sell that much. Could it progress very nicely in the future because of that? Maybe. We shall see. So cool looking door. Let's go from here. Now, I will point this out to you. You, right now, instead of buying this, you could just put down a $1.80 buy order. And you could buy this for a whole lot less. In fact, you'd have next to no competition. So if you want to go ahead and do that, by all means, do it. But just remember, there's no guarantees you will buy it. But I feel like there's a very strong chance you would. There is no competition at $2. Nobody wanted to go to it. So yeah, that's that. Alright, now we've got the Frog Furnace. Same thing. It's only got 800 requests to buy. This is a $2.49 skin. Bulk of the buy orders. All the way up to around $1. Slows down. Cools off at around $1.40, $1.30. We do have this one right here at $1.44. Guess who that is? Me. So yes. Yeah, not surprised. Not a lot of people are super invested in it. I kind of gave you the indication that it's probably not the best thing to put your money towards, because yes, it's a funny joke, but how long is it funny for? And hey, we're probably going to see a whole lot more furnaces this year. Maybe we'll see another funny looking furnace. So at the end of the day, yeah, maybe not the best thing to chase after, but yeah. And then we shall take a look at the likes of the Good Boy SMG. Very low requests to buy. This is a $2.49 skin as well. Bulk of the buy orders only going up to about $1. Some of them are going up to $1.30. But hey, as I said, it's very likely to be going down in price. Like it very much looked like it's kind of doomed. Unfortunately, custom SMGs in terms of gun demand, it doesn't have it. If you know what I mean, there's not a lot of demand. So based on that. Problems. Yeah. Maybe we will see a whole lot more good boy skins. Maybe it does turn into a full collection. Maybe we'll get a good boy door. A good boy door would be perfectly fine. So if we do see some more skins, maybe maybe the whole collection might get a bit of a boost, but as of now, I just don't really see that happening. Worst case scenario, it probably ends up at around $1.20, and maybe that's okay. When it's good times again, will this bounce back up again? I hope. We'll see. So, yeah, honestly, the only two things that are vaguely interesting are the hardsuit stuff. It has a potential. It has positivity. The skin creator himself has said he's going to make tier 3 armor, so maybe this is the play. And as I said, I do not think this has any competition. This collection, right, it's just got started. All of the other collections recently that have been trying to get continuations have had their chance, and they have to wait another month until they can make another version too. So as of now, it looks like this doesn't have that much competition. We shall see if it succeeds or doesn't. But it's up to you tomorrow. Are you going to make a purchase, or are you just going to stick with an even stronger buy order? Hey, this is a $2 skin. Why not just put down $1.80? Buy them for 19 cents cheaper. There is a decent chance that could happen, and it would succeed. But we'll see. There's nothing is a guarantee, but we can try our chances. That's basically it. We'll move over to here. Yep, I refreshed. As you can see, SMM is now tracking the prices, but remember, these prices aren't legit. You should wait until another week, 2 weeks, then look at them, and then we'll get a good idea of where they are in terms of demand and genuine price, and you get the idea. So, cool. We have already discussed the likes of the regular skins. Sorry, I forgot what I was about to say there. So, yeah, we've already discussed those prices. Something I want to bring up to you, though. So this is now talking in regards to the Rust economy. The player count, of course, is going down compared to January, but that was expected. So, yep, maybe we'll see a decent amount of people jump in tomorrow. That would be nice to see. We do have... We have a spring sale starting tomorrow. Steam spring sale will last for a week. We might see a lot of skins go down in price. People will likely liquidate their skins to get some quick money to then get some cheap games. That is tomorrow. So be prepared for that. Thursday, the 16th of March, will be the beginning of the spring sale. Now, I actually had this up for a reason. CSGO has been getting a lot of people playing it. Just 4 days ago, they beat the all-time peak again. Why is this happening? Well, there is very likely... It really does look like Source 2 is about to happen. And when that comes out, you're very easily going to see this go above 1.5 million. Like, that's pretty much a guarantee at this point. There are going to be so many people playing CSGO, we're very likely going to see people not playing Rust as much. We're very likely going to see potentially the Rust economy go down. This could be potentially one of the reasons why. Of course, the spring sale is also a potential reason why. And then, of course, on the horizon, just 6 weeks to go, we have the CSGO Paris Major. So this is going to get a whole bunch of new sticker content, sticker capsules, souvenir packages, you name it. And yeah, there's a very strong chance people are going to liquidate their Rust skins and put it towards CSGO. We do have another map collection will be introduced with this, so lots of people are very speculative and lots of people got their eyes on it. So yeah, just thought to bring all of that up. And to end this video, I just wanted to show you some... Oh, well, I've been buying Revolution cases. That's not the thing I wanted to show you, no. I wanted to show you this. So tomorrow we do have a Rust rotation, of course, and if we just go back over to here, do I have the top picks? Yep. So this is the most recent TGG's top picks list. As we can see, loads of nice looking skins. But the main thing that I wanted to get across to you is over these past few weeks, typical picks have been the skins that are most likely to be accepted. Basically, following the usual routine, typical picks are skins that are in a top picks list. So if we just go over to here, this is all of the top the top picks, the typical picks, the typical skins in order of score. So Abyss Furnace pushing up ahead very strongly. Then you got the likes of the Sheet Metal Door pushing up very strongly. So yeah, then you got Comics Tier 2. And then you got Toolbox made by Jiba. You got the Copper L96 made by Dark. Yeah, so you get a good look at that. That is what it's currently looking like. But do votes and score correlate to success? Well, you saw this. We shall see. And just for an extra little thing, all of the skins that were submitted this past weekend and Monday, there you go. So that's just an extra little something for you. Awesome. So yeah, gentlemen, What are you going to buy? What's got your interest? I can't speak words. I've been talking for a long time. Let's see what happens. Are we going to see an insane week tomorrow, as in an insane Rustle rotation? I wouldn't be surprised if either or both the sheet metal door and the Abyss Furnace gets accepted. They both are looking to be very strong contenders. It very likely will be both of them. Will we get Comics Tier 2 or will we get Frog Cosplay Tier 2? That's going to be an interesting competition. Maybe we'll get neither. That very likely could happen. Maybe we'll get no clothing, skins, and armor tomorrow. That's happened before quite a lot recently. So, yeah, that's basically it. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see what appears. And, hey, you know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on stream as of 7 o'clock in the evening, UK time, so 7 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday. I will be on stream at 7 p.m. UK time, so feel free to hop in, say hello. We'll wait all together. We'll discuss, manipulations on the front page and whatnot, and potential things we could put our money towards, and you get the idea. We'll just have a lovely time waiting and talking and going crazy. So, as usual, it's every week. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Have a lovely time. Have a lovely day, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.